For sure there will be some changes. Hopefully we'll make the right ones.
Well, we'll see you next at Sears Point in California. Let's hope the weather's not half as dreadful as this, because I've seen Sears Point in the dry and I don't think I'd want to drive it in the wet, and I'm sure you wouldn't be that keen either. No. So the American Le Mans Series beckons after Le Mans. Now, we know very well what Dom Peyno's attitude is to the cars. If there is any way that they can keep moving, they will keep moving to the flag. So I'm sure you guys, the drivers, the crew, are going to have a very tough weekend ahead of you. But we'll let you go as Laurent Redon drops the Pescarolo Courage into the gravel. And, well, Klaus, in conditions like these, I mean, that's waiting around the corner for everybody, isn't it? Yes. So, in a way, maybe Don's right. Never give up. Who knows what the weather might bring?
Exactly. Keep it running, baby. Keep it running.
All right, listen, thank you very much for taking the time to come up and talk to us all here. Our German colleagues have already had the benefit of Klaus.
Well, there's the classic
there we go.
Car's light as it comes over the top of the hill into the chicane, hits the curb, bounces in the air, he's got no grip then. Round he goes backwards. High-speed spin at that point, but the gravel doing its job. And the Le Mans gravel, in fact, has done a tremendous job this weekend. We've seen this quite a lot. One other interesting aspect about Le Mans, which I hadn't realised until this week, is that all the tyres on the tyre walls are brand new tyres. They do not use old used tyres at Le Mans. Says something about the French tyre industry for sure.
Well, that's so that when the historics have a flat tyre, they can stop at any tyre wall and bolt on the treaded tyre and off they go. Well, David, we were saying earlier on actually that all the whoopsies seem to have moved from Indianapolis to Arnage, but obviously still the Dunlop S's, or the Dunlop Curve and the Dunlop Chicane are catching drivers out.
We've got something at Tertre Rouge as well, which we haven't seen yet.
A little glimpse of that as the number 2 Audi is in, and this is not standard operating practice. I've never seen anybody leaning into the cockpit on a standard stop. They're going ready for the tyres. They've already got the fuel in. But what are they doing inside the cockpit?
It looks like they're doing something with the driver, strapping him, somebody with a strap, maybe a drink bottle, a new drink bottle, something like that, to try and get him out there.
Well, still working down there at the front end of the car. Manuel Pirro, we just saw a glimpse of, leading the race from this Audi, which is the number 2 machine, still being driven by Christian Pescatori. So, Christian Pescatori out in second place, ahead of Johnny Herbert's number 3 Audi. In fact, while we were watching Didier Tays talking on camera in the pits, he was being shown as the driver of the number 3 champion Audi. He's not. Johnny Herbert's still at the wheel and seemingly glued to the seats. Looks like nothing's going to bring him in, short of the offer of a pint of beer. We'll be back with more from Le Mans in just...
Welcome back to Eurosport. Still at Le Mans, 75 laps into the great race, just coming up to the 6-hour mark. Audi, Emmanuel Pirro leading Audi. Leading champion Audi, leading the Courage of Laurent Redon. We think it is because we saw Laurent Redon going off at the Dunlop S's in a high-speed spin. He is now 2 laps down on the 2nd and 3rd place Audis. Whether or not he's got himself out yet, we don't know. We've been off air just for a moment. And then Butch Leitzinger in the Bentley, still in 5th place, and British to the fore. Again, Hugh Chamberlain's car, surviving car, back in the pits, or has it not yet gone out?
It's just been pushed back in the pits. Just as we come back on air, we've seen lots of cars going back into the pits.
The replay of Laurent Redon. As we see, he gets that back end up on the curb. Has got air under the car, and that doesn't slow him down at all, does it?
No, it doesn't. What slows you down is the gravel when you go into that. And he's a long way in there, but I'm sure he'll be able to get it out of there. They'll push him to a place of safety. And again, that's usually at the back of the gravel trap with a small road, on the basis he can start it himself, because they're not allowed to push start him or anything. They'll get it running and get it back to the pits if at all possible.
Well, there is Henri Pescarolo himself, 33 participations at Le Mans, 4 of them he won. He's been a very successful team owner over the last 3 or 4 years. Had 2nd, 3rd, 4th places, and Henri is concerned as everyone. It looks like there is a bit of panic going on there in the Pescarolo Courage pit there. So, Audi.